Hey, everybody, this is Jon Kovach Jr. with Champions Circle Networking Association. Today, I want to train you on how to conduct a mastermind session, as the mastermind portion is one of the most important pieces to our membership and to how we run our meetings. The mastermind session is where we are able to create the lasting relationships as well as disseminate information, knowledge, and even resources to help one another accomplish our goals, to overcome our challenges, and to find ways to win at life. I'm a very, very passionate person about mastermind sessions. In fact, I've been facilitating masterminds for a number of years, and I've been studying the ways that Napoleon Hill described the mastermind methodology in his book, Think and Grow Rich. So I've focused a lot of my time on understanding the process. What is a mastermind? A mastermind is when one or two individuals or more get together, and in the spirit of harmony, they find a way to find resources and to get enough knowledge and to create a plan on how to overcome any challenges and to achieve or attain that which they want most. And Napoleon Hill describes it in Think and Grow Rich as a way to unlock or unleash the third mind or the third power, which is essentially the overwhelming power that the mind can create through two individuals in the spirit of harmony, helping one another. So the mastermind piece is a really, really important piece. Now, a couple pieces to the mastermind session. To conduct this session, you must have one facilitator. That facilitator takes on the responsibility that they may not get to go. They may not get to share or be in the hot seat. But what I want the facilitator to do is to manage the conversations. The way that they manage the conversations is, first, they manage the time clock. And as you guys may see, I'm running a time clock as we speak. The time clock must be about 12 minutes. 12 minutes allows our individuals to share and connect and counsel with one another. Reason why I chose 12 minutes is because it's long enough for us to spend about 1 to 2 minutes for the person who is in the focused champions chair to talk about what they need, what their challenge is, but to be brief, because we need you to be specific so that we can get to the core and understand what it is that you truly need and give you ideas to clarify so that you have the opportunity to take action, which allows another 2 minutes for each of the individuals in the champions chair to for the individuals in the mastermind to ask clarifying questions to the individual in the champions chair. By asking clarifying questions, we'll be able to get to the core of what that person needs. That leaves about 6 to 8 minutes of counsel, which means we as a mastermind need to be ready to provide counsel. This isn't one of those meetings where you kind of just wait to the last minute to share, because that always extends the time. As soon as you have a thought, as soon as you have an idea, as soon as you have a resource, your goal is to give it without any selfishness. You need to be able to be selfless in this process and to give as willingly as you possibly can, and be ready. Like, put your hand up and say, I need to go, I need to go, I need to go. Because the more that we have people needing to go, the less people have the feeling that they need to drag on the conversation and talk. So as the facilitator, you're needing to, ask people to be prepared and ready. You're looking around the room, calling on people whose hands have been raised. Now, when it comes down to the timeline, if you know that they're taking a lot of time, we've given you a resource to help you kind of conduct this meeting. The first resource is the paddles. Now, if you see a paddle with the time clock, it's a yellow paddle. This is like a yellow traffic light. Okay, this yellow sign means you need to wrap it up. You're talking way too much, or you're taking too much time. Others who need to. Or this means that there's possibly just a few minutes left. But this sign in particular makes people aware of the time being consumed. If you see this paddle, which as a facilitator you must give, this is to have individuals who have gone way over their time, and probably give them 1.5 to 2 minutes maximum of speaking. This is the paddle you definitely want to give. Or if the time has exposed, I would say at 2 minutes or 1 minute, I would put this sign up, because you need to conduct the rest of the session. Before we get to the end of the session, if you see this sign, it's different for some of the cards. Some people have a squirrel, some people have a blue train, some people have another option. But the blue sign means we're a little off topic. Facilitator, it's your job to remember and keep us focused on what the individual is asking for. And so if someone shares irrelevant content or counsel, we need to put that blue sign up and say, hey, I appreciate the counsel. However, we need to get back on topic. This person is asking for this. Please provide relevant resources and move on. Those are supposed to conduct our meetings. And if they're not being used, then they're not helping our mastermind be completely facilitated in the most professional way. Another piece of information to conducting the mastermind is how we run our meetings. And I'll get to that in just a minute, but essentially you have 12 minutes to have the individual in the champion's chair to share what their challenge is or what their ask is for the day. Then it is up to the membership, the circle, to ask clarifying questions and to provide counsel in the time allotted. Now, when there is 2 minutes left on the clock, you will raise the yellow sign or the yellow paddle, and you'll say, there's 2 minutes left on the clock, please wrap up counsel. And in this time, you will ask a few really important questions to the person in the champion's chair. Those questions include, out of all the information you've received, out of the resources and the counsel you've received, what's the one thing, that one burning desire you hope to take advantage of? And the individual who is in the champion's chair can do one of two things. They can say, oh, I really liked everything, or I liked one thing, and that's what I'm going to do. So they need to pick one thing and then declare it to the group. And you need to facilitate that as a facilitator. But the individual has the option of saying, I actually really appreciate the counsel, which sparked something else in me. And they probably know what they already need to do, because a lot of the times that happens. We go asking for help, even though we know what we need to do. And the purpose of this is to elicit that experience so that they know, oh, I had that inspiration, that light of knowledge, the thing that's going to help me overcome my challenges. And when they have that inspiration to take action. It is all part of the experience. Yes, we have to go through a 12-minute session for the individual in the champion's chair to have an experience for them to understand and know what it is exactly that they need to do, whether it's what we counsel them on or it's what they're inspired to do. And the purpose of this exercise is that no matter what great counsel you provide, it is up to the person in the champion's chair to take advantage of those resources. Now, most of our meetings we try to record. Most of our meetings we have to take notes. The facilitator, you are responsible for writing down the declarations that the person in the champion's chair is going to take action on. And we use that as a ledger for us to follow up on at the next mastermind session. So there's a few very, very important particulars on how to run and conduct a mastermind. And as you can tell, my clock is still running and I've got 6 minutes left, but I want to just share a few things. Before the mastermind is even set up, before the mastermind is ever conducted, we go over what we call the rules and regulations, or just the rules. And the rules are pretty simple. My number one rule in conducting masterminds and being in masterminds is number one, zero negativity, 100% positivity. When somebody is in the opportunity chair or in the champion's chair, it is our goal to uplift them and to help them feel inspired. We need to do that as fast as humanly possible without getting into individual coaching, without getting into a therapy session, or without getting into the depths of that person's life. And here's why. It's very, very easy to go to a group setting and to want to receive counsel that's deep and coach-like, but that's not the location. The true response to somebody who really needs some deep thinking or some deep work, you need to say, hey, I am a coach. I do this, or I'm a constructive counselor, or I am a consultant. And what you're going through is exactly what I'm able to help you through. If you don't mind, let's take time after this session to connect so that I can provide you the full resources that you need. And then that will be an available option for that person to say, yeah, I'll take Susie up on the opportunity to meet one-on-one. That's up to them. We can't use up our counsel time for very, very in-depth coaching or lecturing or anything like that, or even teaching. And I'll give you an example here. So if I'm in the champion's chair and I say, today, I really need help with my self-confidence. I have been struggling with on the phone sales calls, and I have not been getting the sales numbers that I've been wanting. People are probably going to ask questions like, well, where's the, why are you feeling inadequate? Or why are you nervous? Or why are you lacking confidence? And the reason why is I guess I'm just scared. And, this is going to trigger a lot of people to just want to put their hands in and coach them. But the counsel is advice. The counsel is steps, plans of action, the things that you want and the things that you can do in order to help this person or this person to take action so that they can go and achieve that which they want to achieve. So therefore, is it up to you, those in the opportunity, or those in the audience, the general audience, to give resources like, hey man, I think you have a great opportunity here to become a more brave person. And the way you can become more brave is, read this book or listen to this podcast or read this article or take a look at this person's social media, or this person has great advice. Just start throwing out resources, throwing out ideas that are going to spark in that person's mind the thing that they most want to do to take action, because it's not our job to give them that action. It's their job to take action based on the inspiration. That is the part of the mastermind experience. I think it's extremely important that we keep to that promise and focus. And then in that moment, when the time is starting to run out, we will use that opportunity to ask that individual to take a commitment. And when it is run correctly, when it is run this way, it is very, very difficult for the individual to not want to achieve their goals. And it is very, very difficult for the person to basically be swept under the rug or forgotten, because they make a public declaration to us, their accountability partners, as to what they want to do. So let's review a few things. And as we go over the rules and regs, again, zero negativity, 100% positivity. The next thing is like I mentioned, that there is no coaching, there is no therapy, there is no in-depth, really discussions here. This is counsel. Counsel is to provide swift, fast options and resources for action. Okay. So in review, your mastermind session always needs one facilitator. The facilitator will manage all of the conversations using the paddle. So right now we're at 2 minutes. I'm going to put this sign up that makes you remember that we've just got a few minutes left, wrap up the conversations. And the facilitator also keeps us on track. And whenever that track is off track, we raise the blue sign. Okay. There's 12 minutes in every mastermind for the person in the champion's chair. That includes 1 to 2 minutes of that person's ask, 1 to 2 minutes of us clarifying questions, and then also about 6 to 8 minutes of us using counsel. But the remaining 1 minute or 2 minutes, we want to follow up by asking that person to make a declaration based on the information that they've received today. And then, of course, we always finish with a power clap. And then one really important piece, do not forget this, and please write this down, is as a facilitator, don't ask people who would like to go next. Just have a list, write down in your mind or write down on your piece of paper who you would like to go next. And that's based on either the counsel or by the rotation of the circle in the chairs that we're sitting in. Therefore, those things will help this meeting really run smoothly. So please pick someone to go next. Do not ask who would like to go next. We cannot have the delay, because this timer, once it expires, will be reset and starting over. So we need to really transition. So with there being 30 seconds left in this counsel, as well as this training, I'm going to hold this sign up that says, please wrap up the conversations. As a result of this training, what are the things that you're going to do most? As a facilitator, I will make sure I always am aware of the time clock. And by next week, I will have a list of my circle and who's going to go, because I want them to prepare. And that is how you conduct and run a mastermind session.